Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of May 26th through June 1st. Today is Saturday, June 1st. It is the start of a new month. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, this week was, still kind of pretty busy for me. I was having a little bit of some stress issues. But we did go to see a movie this week, so I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. And I was able to finish a couple of volumes of manga. So let me talk to you about what I finished reading. Then we'll get into what I'm in the middle of reading. We'll do a Yarnie update, because I do have a finished item and a whip to talk to you about. And then I got a pretty fun acquisition that I will share with you at the end. And so let's get into it. So I did finish 6 volumes of manga this week. I finished volumes 43, 44, and 45 of Haikyu. This completes this series. So this is a completed series for me. This is a story about a high school volleyball team working its way back up to the top. I really, really enjoyed this series. It is just one of those series where I got really invested in the cast of characters, and all of the games were very interesting. We've watched the anime several times. We went to see the movie this week, which is the dumpster battle. That's something that's kind of lauded through a good portion of this series. It's something that they're really striving for. And so to see all of that animated was a really exciting experience also. But I feel like this series wrapped up really well as well, because we not only watch these kids through their journey of trying to get to a certain competition, but we see what happens after those events. And we follow them a few years after they've graduated from high school. So it really gives you a good picture of where our characters are in their life. And it really left me with a settled feeling. Like, I didn't feel like I had any questions anymore. And not only did we see these 2 characters here on the cover, who are kind of, the main characters that we follow from the very beginning, but we also check in with a whole bunch of other characters that we've met along the volumes of this series from all the different schools. And so you really get a big picture of everybody that you've met and what they're doing now and where they ended up and things like that. And it was just so satisfying. So satisfying. Obviously, I gave all 3 of these volumes 5 stars. I think every single volume in this series has gotten 5 stars from me. I'm not sure about the first one. The very first volume, as with the first episode of the anime, is not my favorite. There are just a couple of things that happen in there. But I'm not sure that I didn't give it 5 stars still, because the first volume does encompass more than what is in just the first episode of the anime. And so I'll need to check that. If it is not 5 stars, I'll put it down here. But I know that every other volume in this series has gotten 5 stars from me. This is a 5-star series. It will be one that I read over and over and over again. Like I said, we've watched the anime several times. It is just that good. So, really enjoyed this one. Sad that it's over, but I feel like we got a nice complete ending. And I'm glad to have completed another series. And so the other volumes I read, you'll notice in my thumbnail that I do have physical copies of, but that's because I borrowed them from my library. Unfortunately, my library puts their library sticker on the cover of the manga and not the backside, because the cover is the direction of what Western like books backside would be. And so I can't show you the actual volumes, but I will put a picture here. So I finished volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Beauty is the Beast by Tomo Matsumoto. This one is published by Viz Media, rated teen. Did I even tell you that Haikyu was published by Viz, rated teen? So lots of Viz this week. But Beauty is the Beast is a older manga series that is a not a boarding house. They call it like dormitories, but it kind of is the feeling of a boarding house. And so we have our main character, Amy, and she is moved into the dormitory because her parents got transferred to another place for their job, and she is a junior in high school, so she's only got a little bit of time left. And so she opts to stay by moving into dormitory. And so it kind of follows her journey, living in the dormitory, meeting the new girls that live there, and also meeting the guys that live at the dormitory that's across the way. And it's very slice of life. It's comedic, almost too much for me. But I'm enjoying what I'm reading so far. It's kind of almost middle of the road for me. I gave the first volume 4 stars. I gave the following 2 volumes 3.5. The first volume was really, really good. Definitely feels like Living Room Matsunaga-san, which is a boarding house romance. But the romance tones in this particular series are not very strong. And there's not really an age gap between the romantic interest that Amy has. There are also a couple of other romantic interests between some of the other girls in the dorm and a couple of the other guys in the guys' dorm. And so, yeah, it's, like I said, very slice of life. We pretty much just watch them, day to day outside of school. So you don't see their like school things, but you see their lives at the dorms. You see them like throwing parties and, playing games and things like that. And so, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's going to be one where I'm like, oh, I need to absolutely find volumes to add to my collection. But I'm glad I'm getting the opportunity to read it, because had I not seen this on the shelf at my local library, I wouldn't have even known that it existed. And I'm enjoying it. It's nice, it's fluffy, it's an easy read. And so that's everything that I finished this week. All manga, which I'm not mad about at all. But that kind of completed my month. So I actually read volume 3 of Beauty is the Beast today. So it is the beginning of the month. So technically my month ended with volume 2 of Beauty is the Beast. I read 22 things this month, which is on the higher side of my total reads lately. If I bring up my reference picture, I read 5 novels. Yeah, 5 novels and 17 volumes of manga, which is really good for me. The last 2 weeks of this month were pretty good reading weeks for me. That also has a lot to do with the fact that, I had my Monochrome Manga Club meeting, and so that always puts 6 volumes of manga on my plate for the week. But as far as like overall ratings and stuff, I really feel like I found my stride in the last 2 weeks of the month. So I think that this whole mood reading thing is working for me right now. You can kind of see if you go through like my Goodreads. I will post a picture of my bookmark graph on my Instagram. But I read like 2 novels of the 5 that I read were only 3-star reads, but one of them was one that I had heard about from another person's video that I thought would work for me and was just okay. And the other one was an arc that I was asked to read and in exchange for an honest review. And that one, even though it was just okay for me, I am still interested in continuing with that series. So I do have hope that the rating for that one would go up with the next installment. But other than that, out of the other 3 books that I read, 2 of them were 4 stars and 1 was a 5-star, but that was also a reread. So I think I'm heading in the right direction. Almost all of the manga I read was 4 or 5 stars, except for the 2 Monochrome Manga Club individual selections. But I think I'm trending in the right direction. So we're going to continue this mood reading for the month of June. As far as my June reading plans go, you'll notice that there is no June TBR video again. And that's because I really do feel like I am on a roll now and I need to stick with my mood reading. So no TBR again. However, I am planning on participating in the LGBT readathon that's being hosted by my friend Bazaar Individual. There is another co-host, but I'm not familiar with them. I don't remember their name. I'll put the details here and down in the description bar. There'll be a link to Bazaar's video announcement. So if you're interested in participating, definitely check out his video. But yes, we'll be participating in the LGBT readathon. It's a manga readathon, but I do plan on not only reading manga, but some male and female novels during the month. And so that's kind of my plan. I have a little bit of a video of the stack of stuff that I have, or I should say that my daughter pulled out so that I have a visual of things that I might be interested in reading. And so a lot of the times I don't immediately remember what we have. And so all of these titles are BL or GL. Some of them are series that I've already started and need to continue with, and some of them are new. And so I definitely was inspired to read a couple of things just looking at the stack. But there are also some volumes in there that are annual rereads for me. And so I'll definitely be getting to those as well. And I've gone and borrowed a couple of male and female romances from the library, because I thought it might be interesting to try to explore those. It's not necessarily the type of thing that I normally read, but I thought it might be interesting to just see what I thought, because I do enjoy BL and GL manga. And so I'll definitely be exploring that over the month. I'll also be continuing with the Criminal Intention series by Cole McCade, which is a detective kind of murder investigation series that's male. And I do want to try another series by Charlie Adhara, I think is the name. I heard about that series from 365801. And the audiobooks for that series just showed up on Audible Plus, and so I definitely want to check those out as well. So I've got a good variety of things that I will be attempting to read. I'm definitely not going to read everything, but I have that variety that I need that I think is also very helpful with the route that I'm going down right now. And so, yeah, that's my plans for June. As far as what I'm currently reading right now, I am almost 75%, I think, into Hopeless Magic, which is book 2 in the Star-Crossed series by Rachel Higginson. The first book in the series was Reckless Magic, and I read that a few months ago. And so I'm just continuing with this series. I am listening to this one on the Audible Plus, and I'm enjoying it. It's a fantasy kind of story. What do they call it? Urban fantasy, about a girl who doesn't know that she has magic and then suddenly finds out that she does, and then gets caught up in some political stuff. And yeah, It's very interesting. There's a lot of things going on right now that have to do with her, like, awakening into the magic society, and there's, like, royalty that exists in their world, and it's still, like, it's kind of like where there's, like, this world, but it's still set in our world kind of thing. So, yeah. It's interesting. The romance is a little bit cheesy. But she's not as, like, cringy as she was towards the end of the first installment as of right now. Some interesting things have happened so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this story is going. I believe this is a 4-book series, so when I finish this one, I'll be about halfway done. So yeah, so far really enjoying that one, listening to it on audiobook, like I said, listening to it during my lunch break, so I should have that one finished up by the time I talk to you next. I'm just going to continue with Beauty is the Beast until I finish that series, so I got volumes 4 and 5 left to go, and then I will be able to dig into my stack of stuff, because the library books are due back to the library on the 6th. So yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good right now with my reading, and it's kind of a relief, because I've really been struggling trying to find something to read that ends up being more than enjoyable for me. And I don't know, I feel relieved. So, like I said, I'm just going to continue down the mood read avenue, and hopefully that will continue to be a successful endeavor for me. So that's all of the reads. That's all that I'm currently reading. That's all of my reading plans for June. So let's get into another Yarnie update. So I have a finished object that I can't actually show you the real thing because it is my daughter's Haikyuu Socks. So I'll put up a picture here. I was able to finish her pair before the movie, and so we were both able to wear our Haikyuu socks to the movie on Thursday. The yarn for this pair of socks is from Hawari Bazaar, from our anime yarn club. This is a sock set, and it was named Haikyu. I believe the date on this sock set was October 2022. I know I put it on my Ravelry page, but yes, got both of those socks done. So let me show you how much yarn I had left. So I did make the right call in not doing coordinating heels and toes for the daughter. So this is how much I had left after I finished the heels for her. So there's not very much at all. So going forward, one of us will have heels and toes, and the other one will have just heels. So that's all I have left of the coordinating mini. And this is how much I have left of the main skein. So I haven't actually weighed it to see how much. I could probably do that, but I'd have to take out the core, and I feel like the core here really helps keep the yarn cake tight, you know what I mean? And this is, I just use the yarn label as the core. But yeah, that's how much I have left. So I finished my daughter's Haikyuu socks in like a week and a day, I think. It was really fast because her socks were only a 56 stitch sock, 2x2 rib, 45 rows of stockinette through the leg, a slip stitch heel flap, a square heel turn, and then 60 rows in the foot with my lightning toe. So it's just a plain pattern. Because there was like no like texture in it, I was able to just go round and round and round and round, which made it really, really fast. As opposed to when I do mine and I do the broken rib, every other row is a texture row. So it does make it a little bit slower, but we're very happy with our socks. Very, very happy. They fit well, and I'm looking forward to casting on another of these anime yarn clubs. And so because I was so inspired after finishing that project, I did skein up the next anime yarn club that I will be working on. And this is actually one of the ones I just got recently, and that will be Delicious in Dungeon. So this is the main with our coordinating mini. I believe this is called like Scorpion and Walking Mushroom Hot Pot or something like that, which if you've read Delicious in Dungeon, it's a very applicable dish name. And so yes, this will be the next set that I work on, because the Monochrome Manga Club is currently reading Delicious in Dungeon. So I would like to have these socks done by time we finish our series, so that we can wear the socks to the last meeting that we're talking about Delicious in Dungeon in. So I've all got that all caked up, ready to go in the Completo bag. And so yes, very, very happy to have finished those socks in time for the movie. I'm really inspired to do the next yarn club set. In fact, my yarn club from May, I just got a shipping notification for it, so I should have that either by the next time I check in with you or the week after that, depending on how the shipping goes with that. But because I finished the daughter socks, I did go back to another whip that I had, and so I worked on the niece's mini Last Unicorn sweater. So the mini Last Unicorn sweater is a pattern by Meghan from Bad Girl Wolf Girl Studios. I believe the pattern that I purchased is actually called just the Last Unicorn, and it's a bundle pattern that has adult and children's sizes on it. But I know that she also sells the mini Last Unicorn, which is just the one for kids, separately. So there are two entries in Ravelry for this particular pattern. I did buy the one that includes the adult sizes in case I wanted to make one of these for myself later on, because it is very cute. And so that's what I've got so far. Oh, it looks so good in the camera. That is really cute. Like I said before, like when you look at color work sometimes when it's like really close, it's hard to see like just how much is going on there. Like I get really like technical about seeing it and not being able to like actually see the unicorns when I'm looking at it this close. But when I look at it in the camera, I can definitely see those unicorns. So this is coming along really nicely. Let me find my marker. So I was here last time I talked to you, and I've got my, I don't know if you can see that, but this is a Cookie Monster Progress Keeper, which I got in a set. Cookie Monster, there we go. That's a little bit better. Cookie Monster Progress Keeper. I got in a set of 2 Progress Keepers and 2 stitch markers from Utterly Adorable Knits, which is a bag making company that I have purchased from quite a few times on Etsy. They do bags, they do these stitch marker Progress Keeper kits, a bunch of other stuff. I really enjoy their product, but when I saw that they had a set of progress markers and stitch markers in Sesame Street, I had to get them. And so I put Cookie Monster in here, and then I've done this much. So again, it's just round and round and round and round. So it's not a lot of thinking. I'm just able to sit there and knit at night. I did go ahead and put on one of the star stitch markers from Hawari Bazaar that I showed you last week, and it's really, really fun. I enjoy that. I'm trying out these like new like needle stoppers. I've been using them on my 9-inch circulars, and it works really well with the 9-inch circular, so I wasn't sure if I'd like them for like larger needles, but it's doing fine. It's just these little like silicone like figure 8s with a little metal like wrapper around the middle. And so what I do is I fold it in half, and then I put the one needle this way and one needle this way, so that's like crisscrossed, and it holds it really nicely because they're silicone. And I've had no problem with my needle slipping out or losing any stitches, so I'm really enjoying them. And so yeah, just thought I'd mention that. So moving right along on this, I'd say I have more than 6 inches in the body so far. It might just be 6 inches. I don't know. I'm not good with like eyeing measurements, but I am planning on making the body 15 inches and then the sleeves 15 inches as well, since I don't actually have measurements on my nieces. And so for this one is going to be for the older niece. And so yeah, very happy with that. So this is technically the back, this is the front. You can see that I have not woven in the ends of the color work yet. So yeah, very happy with this project so far. Again, as a refresher, the rainbow colors were a deconstructed mandala, Lion Brand mandala cake. I don't know what the colorway of that mandala cake was, because it was one of the cakes that we had gotten on clearance, and it didn't have the ball band. And so what I did was I just pulled apart the cake, and then I would cut every time the color changed. And so there are actually more colors than this in the cake, because you got, you know, the bleeding of the two colors in between and things like that. And so yeah, I have like a bunch of different colors from that one cake. So that'll be nice to like have to use later, especially if I want to do another one for like myself or something. But I'll definitely have enough to do the second niece's mini last unicorn as well when I'm done. So that's what I used for that. And then for the main color, I should say for the unicorns, we'll do the unicorns first. I did the unicorns in this I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby in the fruit salad colorway. So the unicorns do have this like confetti speckle in it. And then the main color that I'm using is Vanna's Choice from Lion Brand. This is Pink Poodle. So I have already put in one whole skein of this into the sweater, and I'm working on the second one. And so yeah, so far so good. Doing really well. I am a little bit concerned about the fabric of this sweater. It does feel very dense. It feels very dense. I am knitting to gauge, but in order to get the gauge, I had to go down so many needle sizes. So the recommended needle size for this is a size 7 needle, which is appropriate for like this size of yarn. And the pattern is actually for a DK weight, but I'm using worsted. So it's not very different, but because I couldn't get gauge, I had to end up going down to a size 4 needle to get gauge, even with the worsted. And so the fabric is pretty dense, but I think it's still going to be okay. I think it's still going to be okay. I am going to soak this and like, you know, pull out the color work and stuff before I give it to the nieces. But yeah, I'm still very happy with this. I mean, even though I feel like the fabric is dense, it's not so dense where it's not like flexible or could stand up on its own, I don't think. No. It falls over on itself. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with this so far, and I think it's going to be super cute. So that's all I've been working on so far. I will say that I kind of went down a rabbit hole yesterday and was looking at some knitted t-shirt patterns for myself. I have several in my Ravelry library, and I even have yarn for it that I had planned out for specific projects and just never did them. And then I looked through them and I was just like, oh, I'm not really like inspired by those patterns that I had picked out before. And so I was looking for some other patterns. I think I found one that I'm definitely interested in casting on for myself soon. I know I shouldn't cast on anything new because I've got 10,000 whips, but it is getting hot. I would love to have another knitted t-shirt or a knitted like short sleeve top to wear, especially because I already have the yarn. So we'll see if that makes an appearance next week. But I've definitely been looking at knitted top patterns. And so yeah, that is pretty much everything I have for my Yarnie update. And then acquisition. So I did tell you that I have an acquisition. We went to that Haikyu movie, right? I told you. And when I was looking at like merch sites and things, I don't have any Haikyu merch besides what I've made for myself. So the Clip Crow's flag and sweater, and now the Haikyuu socks from Hawari Bazaar. But I don't have an anime shirt. And I do wear anime shirts quite a bit, especially to the Monochrome Manga Club meetings. And then when we go to things like this, I do like to wear the corresponding anime shirt. So like when we went to see Demon Slayer, I wore a Rengoku t-shirt. And so I do enjoy a good anime shirt. But I didn't have any in Haikyu. I don't know why I don't have any Haikyu shirts. Because I love the series so much. But as I was looking, I was like, oh, they've got some Nendroids. And so Nendroid is like a collectible figure. My daughter has several of them for all different characters that she enjoys. And so I was like, oh, let me see if I can get a Nendroid. And so I was able to get one. And for one of my, I would say, favorite characters of the series. And that is Bokuto. So this is Bokuto. He's from the Team Fukurodani, who actually wasn't in the dumpster battle, but we do meet him over the series and see him play. He did make an appearance as a spectator in the dumpster battle movie. In fact, as we were walking into the theater, there was a girl in front of us who was wearing Bokuto's number jersey, and his number is number 4. And so this showed up yesterday. It's so fun. I'm very happy. You can see all of the different expressions he makes. And this is one of those ones that you can like change his expression and his movements and stuff. And so, yes, this is my collectible. Kind of like a keepsake of remembering this time of enjoying this series so much. And so, yes, and it's a good number. Number 19 is always a good number for me. And then, to my surprise, it came with a freebie. And so it came with this zipper pull, or I guess you call it a cell phone charm, but I'll use it for a zipper pull. And it's one of the expressions that you can make the Nendroid make. And so I'm really happy to have that. So that was fun. I'm really glad to have that. And so, yes. So that's pretty much everything. We're slowly getting caught up on the animes that we were watching. We got caught up with Tadaima Okaeri. I think that's what it's called. It's a male romance slice of life anime. It's really, really cute. It's got little babies in it. And they're very cute. So we caught up with that. But we kind of haven't like watched anime over the last couple of days just to keep like the Haikyu movie kind of like fresh in our memory. Daughter and I enjoyed it so much, we are actually going to go again and see it on Tuesday. We weren't like sitting as high as we normally do when we went to go see it this time, and so she wants to be up a little bit higher, and she would like to see it again, and so I wouldn't mind seeing it again. So we are going on the discount day, and so we'll go see it again. It was really good. It was really, really good. I had a really good time, and it was just really good. And if you're not watching Haikyu, I don't know why. Especially with the Summer Olympics coming up. It's really one of those things that kind of made me watch the volleyball during the Olympics. It's not something that I normally watched during the Olympics. I'm very much a swimming, diving, and gymnastics watcher. But we never really like watched any of the other sports. But over the last like few Olympics, I've definitely been somebody who really enjoys watching all of the different sports and learning about all of the different things and things like that. And so I will be taking vacation during the Olympics again this year. I already told my company that was going to be a thing. And it has been. So the last like 2 rounds, I think, of the Olympics, I've taken vacation to specifically watch Olympics all day long. And so, yeah, I'll definitely use that time to work on knitting projects as well. It's one of those times of the year when the Olympics is on where I get a good amount of knitting time in because I'm pretty dedicated to watching the Olympics. And so, yes, getting a lot of progress on knitting projects is something that always happens around that time of the year as well. And so I'm really looking forward to the Olympics again this year, not only because I will be on vacation during that time, but because I'll be able to work on my knitting projects. We found out when we were at the theater that they're actually doing watch parties for the Olympics at the theater this year. It's something new, so it's going to be live broadcast. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. I'm kind of interested in going, if I'm honest, but it's like super early in the morning because it's live. And so I don't know. We may try one of those out just to see what the experience is like, because I think it would be really fun. But yeah. That was something new. When it came up during the previews, I was like, what? So, yeah, we may try to do that. But yeah, just like going to the movies in general is something that I'm starting to like re-enjoy. It's something that we had enjoyed a lot before, the big C. And then for a while there, we stopped altogether and just went back to our normal like purchasing of the movies as they released instead. But it is an experience going to the theater, so we're enjoying it. Discount days are great. I am part of our like theater like rewards program, so there's perks with that. And so I think the next movie that we'll plan to see after our rewatch of Haikyu is probably going to be Twisters, which is kind of like the sequel to Twister. And so that looks really exciting. And then, of course, Beetlejuice, which I think will come up later this year. And so, yeah, there are a couple movies that we're definitely interested in seeing. And just really enjoying going back to the theater. And it gives me something to do that's outside of the house, since I'm somebody who doesn't like to go out that much. But I definitely have been enjoying going to the theater. And so, yeah. other than that, I don't think there's anything else that we've really done. Work is work. Work is work. It's all right. It's stressful. It's giving me a little bit of an issue with some health things, but yeah, we'll just take it one day at a time. Take it one day at a time. There's nothing I can do about things that are going on at the office. It's just take a deep breath and we'll get through it. So that's kind of everything that we've been up to, everything I've been reading, everything I've been watching, everything that I've been working on. And so, yeah, let me know down in the comments below what you've been up to this week. What have you finished reading? Did you finish out your reads for May, where you wanted to be? What was your highest and lowest rated reads of the month? I would really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a volleyball emoji or some kind of sports emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated. That would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.